Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League's Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have our last two games of the season. We're away against Borussia Dortmund, and then we play Hertha Berlin as well. Hertha Berlin, from what I can gather, have actually got a game in hand to a point by the looks of it at the moment. So if they go, they could go into the last day potentially safe, depending on how they get on against us as well. Um, bearing that in mind, of course. We could be in a position right now where we could rotate the squad a bit. But our game against Dortmund obviously could have a big influence on who wins the title out of them and Bayern Munich. And obviously, at the game against Hertha Berlin could have a big say on who gets relegated as well. So we're going to have to go all out in both games. Don't want to show any favouritism, of course. So we go into both of these games still wanting to win, especially this particular game against Dortmund, with it being the Borussia Derby. We have secured third place. We've qualified for the Champions League, and we have been given our budgets for next season. We get 1.2 million for wages per weekly basis. With players leaving and players coming in, we will have overspent on wages. I will admit that. So for the time being, the transfer budget that we've been provided, that £19 million, we're going to move straight into wage budget, and it'll give us a good amount extra as well. So hopefully that should probably cover most of it. There is one or two potential signings that we could make on free transfers as well. Going into next season, there's one in particular that I am keeping an eye on, who is a German international who Bayern Munich are potentially going to be releasing. He does want a lot of money at the moment, but hopefully as time goes by, he'll either get released or we might be able to go in for him if he lowers his demands a little bit. We are rotating just slightly in the midfield. Tukic is going to start with Youngblood in there with Katala. Otherwise, the front three and the back four, well, back five, should I say, are pretty much the same. In terms of recent results, since the episode yesterday, we beat Bayern Munich by 3 goals to 0. We had a very, very good performance in that one. We then won 4-1 against Hoffenheim, and we went into the game against Werder Bremen knowing that a win would secure us a Champions League football. And we absolutely battered Werder Bremen, but it took an 80th minute first goal of the season header for Fabio Chiarodia to win the match. And therefore, we are now comfortably within the Champions League qualifiers, and it's all done and dusted. So it's literally just a case of bragging rights, especially for this game in particular. Hopefully, we can go out there and get the job done. Opacic bagged a hat trick against Hoffenheim, very notable achievement from him. But he did follow it up and miss a penalty against Werder Bremen as well. But he's had a very good season, Opacic, in the end. After he's settled down, he's really started to perform well, and he almost gave us the lead there. Really doing well from the corner. He managed to get the ball back and ran straight into the penalty area, but Kobel managing to make the save. Youngblood here with the delivery, swings it in. Diamande doing well to clear, and Nelson Viper managing to clear. So positive start from our point of view, that is for sure. A lot of pressure on Dortmund today. They have to win to stay ahead of Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, of course, will have a game in hand after we've played this match. And depending on how results go today, could determine potentially the league title. I'm making a very good save there from a Lavumbo free kick. And as you can see, by the way, we've got the fans back. Um, what I actually did, I came out of the game again, and there was actually an update for the drivers for the game. So I sorted all that out, and we've come back. And so far, the fans have remained. So hopefully, it is job done, and hopefully, no more glitches will happen in relation to that. Lavumbo here with the delivery, and it's a very assertive claim from Hein. Lechner here with the throw into Lavumbo. Now Lechner again. Lechner, by the way, probably one of the world's best defenders already at the age of 23. Here is Angulo, and it's poor goalkeeping from Hein. And Borja Angulo gives Dortmund the lead here. And it's been a bit of a funny one with Dortmund. We've really been competitive against them in most of the games. When we win well. But when we lose, it's just by the odd goal, or it has been just by the odd goal. Hopefully, we're not going to get too heavy a battering today. Brighthaupt knocking on the door for Angulo, and Casper Nilsson managing to get onto it and clearing it back to the keeper, who delivers it forward back to Nilsson, but it's a poor header, and Angulo has stolen in again, and Katenga is on a yellow card. He can't really make too many challenges now, and Sangui coming down this left-hand side completely turns his man into the penalty area, still going, and Noah Sangui with his first goal of the season. I mean, defensively from us, we just let him run straight in there. I know we've not got anything to play for, but we need to be doing better than that. I'm going to fire the boys up a little bit, and hopefully we'll wake up going into the second half. I mean, to be fair, they've only had 3 attempts at goal, Dortmund, all of which are on target. Unfortunately, they've scored 2 of them, but we've only had the 1 attempt, and it's been a very poor performance so far. And hopefully we can, like I say, push on a little bit. Chavlina is still a very important player to us, obviously. He's done. He's not going to be playing for us next season. But I'm a bit disappointed with him, to be honest. He's been putting in poor performances, to be quite honest. He's not really looked like doing a lot. He did score 1 of the goals against Bayern Munich, but other than that, he has been very, very poor. Casper Nilsson here going into the penalty area. It's a good charge, finds Chavlina, and obviously he just had to prove me wrong. We've managed to get a goal back on the hour mark. Chavlina with the finish, and signs of life being shown here. If we can, I, I mean, in terms of showing favouritism, as I mentioned before, I would quite like us to get a result here and get Bayern Munich to overtake them at the top of the table with that 1 game to go. Opicic is struggling, as is Katenga, so we may have to make a couple of changes here, and I think we'll probably do that now. Opicic, unfortunately, he's had a quiet game today. He's played so well recently as well. Yao Martins, I don't know if I mentioned last time, he's agreed that move to Lyon for £6.5 million as well. We'll get Kwanzaa on at right back. And, I mean, Youngblood's not done too bad in the midfield. Katal has actually had the poor game today. Who have we got available? Eamon Carey will get on for Youngblood in that midfield, I think, just to shore it up a little bit in there. And we'll leave it like that for now. But obviously we've got the likes of Lewis Miley and Cosmin Mania down there. So they could potentially make a difference today, depending on how things go. We're going to demand a little bit more from the team. We've not played badly by any means, but we're just starting to struggle again now. Casper Nilsson we will bring off for Lewis Miley. We'll get Mania on for Chavlina as well, just to see the game out, and hopefully we can find ourselves an equaliser. I'm not too disheartened by the performance, I must say. We're going to encourage the side, and hopefully, like I say, we can find a way to get an equaliser. We'll just go attacking for the last few minutes, 6 minutes of added time. And to be fair, they've only had 1 attempt at goal in the whole of the second half, and it wasn't on target. We've really come out of the blocks in the second half. I think we were unlucky, to be honest, not to draw the game. But overall, it wasn't a bad performance. As you can see there, Bayern Munich, I'm not too sure who they're playing, but they've got to play Hertha Berlin as well. So potentially, Leipzig are playing Stuttgart, I would have suggested maybe. But there's a lot of competition for places I've noticed in these European qualifying spots for the Champions League. I didn't quite realise Leverkusen was still in with a shout there, to be honest. FC Köln and Leipzig have been battling it out in 4th and 5th for so long, and Leverkusen have just kind of snuck up in there. So potentially plenty of big games to be coming up, that is for sure, where the league's concerned. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed we couldn't get the win there, but to be fair, we still gave good account of ourselves, and we know how strong Dortmund and Bayern Munich are. And, I mean, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, we're 14 points behind Dortmund now. But again, we've only lost 6 matches this season. We lost more last year, lost less last year, but 2 of the defeats this year were against Dortmund. So for 2 years in a row, we haven't lost against Bayern Munich. So we're showing really positive signs. It's just a case of whether we can really settle into a rhythm and challenge for titles. And with the likes of Dortmund and Bayern Munich constantly there, I'm not too sure if we'll be able to. We're trying to build a really good squad, obviously. 1 or 2 of the key players are leaving this year, but we are replacing them. it's just a case of the squad will just have to settle into a rhythm, and hopefully we can find a way of getting going again. Well, we've got a week to go until the Hertha Berlin game for the last game of the season, so bear with me, and we'll come back for that one, and hopefully we can finish the season on a high. Okay, guys, here we go for the last game of the season. We're at home against Hertha Berlin. Bayern Munich face Bayer Leverkusen. Dortmund are away against Werder Bremen. And Bochum are at home against Wolfsburg. So there's a lot riding on these games today. A league title is at stake for Bayern and Dortmund. And in terms of relegation playoff, Hertha Berlin and Bochum will be fighting it out. So we've got to be on point today, and we need to make sure that we put in our best performance that we can, and probably our best team as well, in all honesty. Um, which, to be quite honest, I'll just do that now. Youngblood is actually settling into the side a little bit at the moment. Kone is out injured, so he will have to miss out. But other than that, we're pretty much at full strength. Katenga, unfortunately, has actually gone down in terms of quality for this level. He's really struggling for some reason with his actual attributes at the minute. He's dropping down, which isn't ideal. But I think he's had a good season. He's just, I don't know. There must be a lack of consistency to his training or something at the moment. But going into the game today, we should be winning. But we thought that against Union Berlin as well, didn't we? So we're at home. Let's finish the season on a high and get 3 points in their last games for the club for Chavlina and Fran Garcia. Manu Kone, of course, out injured. It would have been his last game for the club as well. And Werder Bremen have missed a penalty against Dortmund, and Dortmund have taken the lead just after. Opicic with a delivery. Rodier's header somehow kept out there by Schlesler. Schlesler? Oh my word. Schlesser. I'll get there eventually. Opicic with another delivery from the corner, and again it's toward the near post. They managed to just about get it away through Tanabe, but Fran Garcia gets onto it, and nothing comes of it from there. Nuremberg are safe. Bochum are winning against Wolfsburg. So regardless if Hertha Berlin beat us here, if Bochum win, Hertha Berlin go down. And with Dortmund winning at the moment as well away at Werder Bremen, it doesn't matter what Bayern Munich do either. Opicic here with the potential for a decent goal if he can get it on target. Swings it in and it's off the woodwork. In fact, it's not. Schlesser again making a very good save there. And he's certainly keeping Hertha Berlin in the game at the moment. Opicic again, Katenga's header quite poor, and it goes quite a way over the crossbar, unfortunately. But I mean, Hertha Berlin haven't even made a foray forward at all so far, and we are dominating proceedings. Carry intercepting, finding Chavlina. I'm hoping he scores today, to be honest. He's actually in with a chance of finishing as the Bundesliga top scorer if he knocks a couple of goals in today, depending on what Giglio does for Bayern Munich. Morenstedt into Ola Kigbe. Moving down this right-hand side. Now Carveld. Carveld scores their first shot. And I know I go on about it frequently, but once again, we're missing chances. The opposition get one shot and score it. And this has happened 2 or 3 times this season. Catala doing well to win possession. Now Chiarodia into Catala. And now Ornelas. I know we've got nothing to play for, but I would very much like us to really knuckle down and get something out of this game. Anastasov just holding on to it, finding Ornelas again. Back to Anastasov. They've got a strong five at the back of the moment. Chavlina made a run there, but played it backwards instead there to Chiarodia. Now Fran Garcia. Cuts it inside to Ornelas. Anastasov. We're playing it very patiently here. We've got to be careful. We've been in this position before and we get caught out. But Kasper Nilsson superbly played it behind. And again, we missed the target. Kasper Nilsson, I mean, we've had 8 attempts at goal and 9 attempts now and only 2 on target. They've had the one shot and scored it. And this is what really frustrates me at times. And we need to really knuckle down in the second half. Dortmund are 2-0 up. Bayern Munich are actually getting beat anyway by Bayer Leverkusen at the moment. Opicic here with the corner, swings it in. De Frigueros managed to clear, and now Opicic into Anastasov. And he just gives it away very, very cheaply, and they get it clear. And we're in a position where we could build it up from the back again, but it's going to take something quite special, it would appear today. Fran Garcia into Opicic, and now Chavlina. Finally, we get that equaliser, and it's been coming, but at the same time, you know, the frustration continues. I'm hopeful that we can push on now and get the 3 points. Chavlina doing well with the finish. He scores on his last game for the club. He scored over, I think it's 50, I think he got his 50th in the last game that he scored in. League goal for the club. So he's had a really good career since signing for us. Tanabe here with a free kick, swings it in, and they've hit the woodwork, and there was actually a foul on Chiarodia. But we've got to be very careful here. Katenga into Eamon Carey. Finds Katenga again. Plays it into Casper Nilsson. Turns in the penalty area. Gets the shot away. And that is an explosive finish from Casper Nilsson. I don't mind him. To be fair, that's his style. He does like to shoot with quite a bit of explosive power, to be fair. But it doesn't always work out. And a lot of the time, he does end up off target. But he put a lot into that. And it went into the roof of the net, luckily. And we have a very deserved lead. And Giglio has actually scored for Bayern Munich, as has Neves now. Dortmund are 3-0 up, though. So the title is pretty much done. Here's Fran Garcia. Still holding on to it after a deflection from Funkel. And now Katala into Chiarodia. Katala again. Chavlina turns, finds Casper Nilsson. Opportunity for his 4th of the season. And he does take it. And that confirms our victory, I think, here today. Hertha Berlin have pretty much had a collapse here in this second half. They've been resilient, but it's finally coming to a close for them in the Bundesliga this year. And Casper Nilsson with a brace. And obviously we'll have some tough decisions going into next season as well, because we've got a lot of new signings that have already been confirmed that are coming in, not only to replace the players that we've lost, but to strengthen in key areas as well. So we could have some big decisions to make going into the summer. Here's Fran Garcia in the left-hand side. Opicic chopped down by Tanabe. It's a very bad challenge. And there's claims of a dive by Opicic. It's definitely not. And it's a red card for Yuta Tanabe. And Opicic here with the resulting free kick. Swings it in. And he smashes it off the outside of the post. And we're going to make a couple of substitutions now. The fact that they're down to 10 men has pretty much secured matters. Opicic will come off. Julius Alma's a player that might end up leaving at the end of the season. Will give him a potential last game for the club. Lewis Miley can come on for Casper Nilsson despite him being on a hat-trick. We'll give Chavlina a standing ovation as well. And Yao Martins, he's leaving as well, of course. We'll bring him on for Fran Garcia, who has also played his last game for the club. And Young Bluff as well. He's in on loan. We'll give him his last appearance for the club as well. So, again, plenty of decisions still to be made, but the players that are going to be definitely leaving the club, we will give them some last minute game time. And obviously some of them we've taken off as well. And Yao Martin's charging forward here. He's got support, finds Cosmin Mania, and it's a shocking finish. I mean, I thought Martins for a minute, obviously, like I say, it is his last game. I thought for a minute he'd go all the way himself to try and do the job. Giglio only scored 1 goal for Bayern Munich today. Chavlina did score for us, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough for that top scorer award. Gekta looking forward. Anastasov doing well to find Ornelas. Back to Anastasov. He just holds on to it and finds Eamon Carey. Now Julian Alma. Into Martins. Inside to Youngblood. Back into Martins. Plays it across. There's Cosmin Mania. That wraps up the victory. It's an assist for Martins on his final game for the club before his £6.5 million move to Lyon. And the job is done. We've deserved it today. I was very annoyed that we went behind, as you can imagine, but we've come out in this second half and we have proven just how good we can be in front of goal. And of course, Cosmin Mania could be a big season for him next year. He's our main striker that we're going to have by the looks of things. And job done. A third place finish once again. We're starting to get that level of consistency at the club for qualifying for the Champions League. And onwards to next season. Got big decisions to make, of course, where the squad's concerned. I'm happy managing Mönchengladbach, I will be honest. If we get an offer from a big club, we'll obviously have to consider it. Will we be able to really push on with Mönchengladbach? Time will tell. And obviously, with only actually one title to our name since the start of Sunday League's Champions League, which was with Taunton at the very beginning, we are overdue a trophy, it has to be said. And we'll have to see what happens going into the future. Like I say, I don't want to leave. Really happy with how things are going here, and we're setting up for the future for sure. But at what point do we have to make that change? So Leipzig and Dortmund have both qualified for the Champions League as well. So that was another thing that we had to consider, of course, with the Bundesliga table. Leipzig were above FC Köln on goal difference. That is very harsh on FC Köln. I mean, FC Köln did their best. They won 4-0 against Frankfurt, but Leipzig did win against Freiburg. And Stuttgart actually managed to qualify for the Conference League there as well by finishing 7th. So it's all gone to plan from our point of view. And there's been some very interesting turn of events as time's gone on. So a good season, and we look to build from here. £75 million into the bank for finishing in 3rd place. And we look forward to our transfer special, which will, of course, come tomorrow. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.